get drinks.
Oh.
Sure. Food's out at 6, so if you'd like to go down on rotation, by all means. But they're promising it will still be there at 7:15 for us.
Oh man, that kind of shorthands me completely, doesn't it?
Hey?
That throws me out the equation completely.
What, you?
Yeah, man.
Well, 7:15 you can run down. We can all bring your food up.
Yeah, we can bring you some.
That's alright, thank you.
Jake's at Fruckles tonight, he can go your food.
I mean,
for us.
Jake
Bring me food up.
can just leave the camera on the...
I'm the busiest person here.
I just want to make sure the volume doesn't blast up.
Busiest body.
To be fair, without me, you'd be doing divvy squats, so.
Exactly. The saviour of county cricket.
You seen the new Sky announcement today?
Which is?
They're going to do more T20 games.
Blast.
Yeah.
Having done fewer than they've ever done before this year.
But they're going to do one online every year. One game will be on the YouTube channel every
night.
week. From every round.
Every week or every night?
Every round.
Right, okay.
So every night there'll be a game on.
As long as there's a game on, there'll be a YouTube. Why not doing it for?
This is Surrey County Cricket Club. Born in a tavern in 1845. The symbol of Kennington, we've seen London grow around us. Cricket's original champions, as Charles Alcock brought his vision to life and we cemented a reputation as a place of firsts. International football, FA Cup finals, international rugby, test matches, as well as where English pride came to die, before a great rivalry was born from its ashes. We share our feathers with royalty and pass on the honour of the brown cap through generations. We've seen England's best spend their careers with us.
Well, that's Jack Hobbs. Head and shoulders, yes, over all other living batsmen.
And the game's best finish under our gasometer. We've won 7 in a row thanks to Surridge, May, Barrington, Locke, Laker and the Bedser twins. In fact, we're well known for our famous siblings, but there's always been one family who've stood out. We saw the West Indies grip a nation on our doorstep, and a pioneer set records galore in the women's game. The end of the century brought a fresh take on Ik Dien, as Holyoake and his England teammates transformed us on the pitch. The changing of the oval skyline brought the greatest of finales.
There it is. England have regained the Ashes.
And an era of final test triumphs.
Alistair Cook has done it. A century in his last. Well played.
On our way to our own red ball century. We're one half of the game's oldest rivalry, and its only London derby.
Can you clear the pavilion?
Local players are always the lifeblood of our side. But the world's best are attracted to us too. We've come through tragedies. Now we're home to world champions and cricketers of the year. 175 years have passed. There's much more to come. This is Surrey County Cricket Club, heart of London, pride of the county, the grandest stage in world cricket.
Well, a very good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Kia Oval, where it's the London derby between Surrey and Middlesex, and delighted to have you with us for this one here this evening. It's myself, Kevin Hand, Raf Nicholson and Sid Egan for this game, and the news of the toss is that Middlesex have won it and they have elected to bat on a glorious sunny evening for the London derby, a London derby that's been dominated by the visitors, but Surrey will be very much gunning for a derby victory here on home soil. If you want to tweet us tonight, at Surrey Cricket, to get through as ever. The players are out in the middle. Let me tell you those teams in full in a moment before we say hello to Raf, who is alongside me. We may have been a little loud there to begin with, but hopefully I'm not blowing your ears off at the moment. I think I did just blast the ears off Raf a moment ago. Sorry, Raf, if that was very, very loud in your ears. It certainly was in mine. But hopefully everybody's hearing us loud and clear at the moment. Yes, those teams, let me tell you, starting with the hosts, Surrey tonight. Bryony Smith, Rihanna Southby, Alice Capsey, Kira Chatley, Chloe Brewer, Amy Gordon, Eva Gray, Bethan Miles, Danny Gregory, Maddie Blinkhorn-Jones, Charlotte Lambert and Charlotte Stubbs. It is going to be Capsey to get us up and running. Routledge and Porter are out there for Middlesex. I'll tell you their team in full in a minute. Middlesex in the pink tops and the bluey green familiar colours of Surrey now, as well as his Capsey from the pavilion end. Bowls outside the off stump. That one's cut away as far as point. And there is no run. That Middlesex side, very much a changed up one, especially with the Sunrisers fixture in mind on Saturday. Middlesex are, which I'll tell you in a moment because Capsey's on the way in again. Bowls now, and this ball's pushed back up the track, and no run once more. So Middlesex have Routledge on strike, Porter at the non-striker's end. In at 3 is the skipper. So here's Capsey once more. Ball's cut away, back at a point, still no run. Dot ball into the scorebook once more. So yes, it's Saskia Hawley, the captain, at 3. Emily Mundy at 4. Ikra Hussain at 5. Amu Surun Kumar. Bhavgat Gajipra. As this ball's full outside the off stump, beats the edge through to the gloves of the keeper. It passes, no run. Good start this from Capsey. The rest of that Middlesex side, River Pindoria, Kate Kopak. There's Capsey bowls. This one's cut as far as extra cover. There's no run. Hannah Taylor-Yates, Emily Thorpe and Lauren Turner, who won't bat but will open the bowling for Middlesex tonight. 2 balls left to the opening over. Is it 2? I made it 1 left. It is 1. There's Capsey bowls, and that ball's short, pulled away into the onside, only as far as mid-on. There's no run, and maiden to open up for Capsey, and yeah, the Caps handed over, and there is no run, which gives me a chance to say, after a breathless start, I'm delighted to say, good evening, Raf, how are you?
Yeah, I'm really good, thank you. It's great to be here. Interesting choice to have Alice Capsey open the bowling. Not sure I've seen that before.
No, indeed.
And I'm one of her biggest supporters. But yeah, it's a interesting choice there from Surrey. So is Bryony Smith captaining Surrey? It looks like it.
Yes, indeed.
Okay. So yeah, interesting choice from Bryony Smith there. Slightly unconventional, perhaps.
We just ventured around to the far side, didn't we, to have a chat with you and familiarise ourselves with the teams for tonight's game. Bit of a change up.
Yes, and interesting that Surrey appear to be going big guns all out to win this match. They've got all of their stars pros, well, not all of them, but many of them, whereas Middlesex do not, from the Sunrisers' perspective.
It's Eva Gray from the Vauxhall end, right arm over, good line of length to begin. Just tucks Porter up, there's no run. Flex away into the offside.
I have to say, I think that's actually a bit of a strange decision to have Naomi Ditani and Namara Carr sat on the sidelines, not playing in this evening's match, don't appear to have any injuries, and just to be watching on. It just seems quite bizarre. We're still in a situation where there really isn't enough cricket for that to be the case.
Grey bowls and stepping across outside off. Porter looking to scoop, looking to paddle around the corner. Through to the gloves it goes though. Yeah, big game on Saturday for the Sunrisers. 10:30 start at Chelmsford. And, well, I guess they've made the call. They want to rest those star names, don't want any niggles going into that game. Lost their first 2, the Sunrisers. This ball's short, wide, outside the off stump, signalled so. First run on the boards for Middlesex in the London Cup. But yeah, I think I'd imagine that they're as frustrated as anybody. If bumped into any of them, I'm sure they'd love to play, but yeah, big game on Saturday. Full commentary on the Sunrisers stream of that one. Delighted to have you with us on the Surrey stream tonight, as here comes Gray once more, and that swung away hard into the onside over the top of square. First runs off the bat and a boundary as well. Sweetly struck.
Yeah, that was a beautiful shot.
Lovely timing, sweet pickup. On a boundary to begin. Good chatter around the ground, as you'll probably hear on the effects mic. Majority of those in attendance over at the pavilion ends. The first couple of tiers, 1 or 2 dotted around the top tier as well. Down below the dressing rooms as well. This ball's outside off, left alone. No, well, sorry, left alone. Beats the bat. Porter through to the gloves, just makes that little signal with the hand, and that one nipped away slightly.
Certainly a lovely evening to be watching cricket out there.
Floodlights are on, no need for them at all. Gorgeous, isn't it?
Yeah, that's strange.
Gray's in, bowls, and it's cut in the air, just short of backward point. Stretching for it slightly, Porter, and I think just checked the cut shot as a result. Indeed, if she'd have gone fully through with it, I think she'd have lifted it straight to cover. But instead to backward point, and been weighted, guided it more in the end. Gray again. Lovely line of length, that's hit in the air and dropped, put down at mid-off. Sharp chance, but that will come as a mighty disappointment. Both hands to it for Capsey there at mid-off. Back to taken that.
She is going to be absolutely kicking herself for not having taken that. It was right in her hands, went right through, really should have held on to that. Was hit quite hard, but really somebody of Alice Capsey's prodigious talent should be holding on to those.
I thought it was going to be a dolly at first, but it was struck quite a bit harder than I first thought.
Yeah, quite hard, and just a little bit of height on it, but again, I would have thought that she should take that, really. So that is a chance, isn't it? Gone down. So Porter on 5. Will she make them pay for that?
Chloe Lambert places Capsey from the pavilion ends. Here she comes again, bowls, and this ball's pushed away into the offside and there's no run. Jake, our cameraman's done a wonderful job of moving the effects mic out for us to a great position, but it just needs plugging in a little bit more. Now the connection's come loose. He's about to do it now. There we go. Perfect. Say hello, Jake. Don't unplug it, say hello. There he is. Oh, every time it goes down, it goes off, whatever is happening with it. As this ball's scooped away nicely, fine to fine leg it goes. Short leg up inside the circle. And 4 it is. And another boundary into the scorebook. And there you go, works now. Works now, works now. Jake's going to put it down. And it works now. Lovely. There we go. Now that he can't see me and he's not in earshot, it was when he actually ducked underneath it a minute ago. Whatever he did, he kicked it. Here's Lambert bowls, and down the track comes Porter and hooks it away as the ball follows up out to deep square. It goes for a single, 11 without loss. Yeah, it's a lovely sound of cricket inside the ground. We don't want to do it without the effects mic.
Definitely makes a difference, doesn't it?
It does indeed. It does indeed. And you can hear good crowding for this one. Lambert passes the umpire, bowls, and this ball goes past the edge. Lovely from Lambert. Routledge beaten. It's looking to push into the offside. Gentle push, really. Nothing more. Well beaten.
Yeah, really good ball. That just moved slightly, I think, late.
Raf, I've never known you as anybody other than Raf, but I've just seen Raphael Nicholson on your. Have I introduced you to everybody? I've only ever known you as Raf. As this ball's up in the air and gone at backward points. That's the end of Routledge. Gone for a duck. Lifts it straight to backward points, and 11 for 1, the fall of the wicket in the 3rd over. And having seen one put down, Porter when she was on 5, now Routledge goes falling for a duck. And Surrey have that breakthrough in the 3rd over.
Yeah, that's really good bowling from Lambert, actually. I think she set her up for that. Yes, she's just tonked it out there straight to point, hasn't she? Relatively easy catch. Maybe possibly a little bit of a juggle there, but yeah, held on to it pretty well. And off she goes. So yeah, that's an early breakthrough. Yes, well, my full name is Raphael, but in cricketing circles I am known as Raf, so no, you did not misintroduce me, you're absolutely fine. I think, actually, I don't know, I wonder whether people do know my full name within cricketing circles. I'm not sure. But
I don't even know your full name, but it's just I've never known you as anything other than Raf, so I've never known that you'd want to be known as anything other than that.
No, it's just easier, isn't it? One syllable, short, sharp, to the point. Nobody has to worry about spelling. Although I do occasionally get...
R-A-P-H?
Yeah, I do occasionally get people thinking that I'm Rafe as well.
Rafe?
Yeah. Which I always think there would be an E in there.
Yeah. Sasha Hawley, the skipper, out at 3 for Middlesex. It's Lambert into bowl. It was Miles at backward points who took the catch. Oh, that tires a little. Outside off. And a wide signal, a little harsh, but I guess it is at T20. The numberless Hawley. Skipper in Middlesex tonight, missing a few of the big names. It's Tash Miles, if she's tuned in overseas, had alongside me for a commentary a few weeks ago at Lords. This ball's full, turned away into the onside, and they've taken a quick single. Hawley's off the mark. 13 for 1. Didn't know whether she'd be back in time for this one or not.
Well, they'll certainly be missing her. Because she was kind of, or has been, one of their core players over the years, and really unlucky to, you know, for all intents and purposes, really unlucky to have missed out on selection for Sunrisers. I don't really understand what's happened there, but yeah, perhaps she's now doing other things, as you say, doing a little bit of travelling to various places, but yeah, certainly seen Tash Miles put in some good performances for Middlesex over the years and in the London Cup as well. I was looking at previous London Cups, and in 2017 at Radlett, Tash Miles hit a half century in the London Cup, I believe.
Oh, that one dies on the way through from Gray. Start of the 4th over, 13 for 1. Yeah, I was just going through my notepad from that game. Last year it was a 50 for Naomi Datani, which I say confidently, but I look up and it wasn't there.
It was, no,
yeah, it was.
Correct.
it's that moment of panic for a commentator as this ball's full onto the pads but not out.
Yeah, half-hearted appeal there.
Went a fair way across Hawley, didn't she?
Yeah. Yeah, it's been an interesting fixture over the years because it's very much moved about. It has been held at the Oval a few times, but we've been at Lords once, we've been at Guildford, we've been at Radlett a couple of times.
And length again, eased away into the offside, no run. He remains on 1.
I think it's nice to have it at the Oval, or see at Lords we did have it in 2019. It's nice for these players to kind of get an outing at these really iconic grounds.
This goes up in the air and over the top of mid-off on this occasion. Hawley has all of that. Moves to 5, 17 for 1 Middlesex. 2 balls to go, the 4th. That was sweetly struck. Lovely pick-up.
Yeah,
to the block hole.
Hit it quite hard. I'm not sure that
into the sweet spot, I should say, sorry.
Yeah, I'm not sure that she was 100% confident of where it was going, but hit it hard enough for in the end for it to be relatively safe.
Gray bowls, line length, good ball, nicely played, angle bat, soft hands from Hawley, picks up a single down to 6, down to 3rd, 6 she moves on to. And Middlesex at 18 for 1. Yeah, 2015 was the first game in the London Cup. The first 2 games are here, weren't they?
They
at
were.
the Oval, 2015, 2016. This ball comes swinging back in for a Porter onto the pads. I think there was a little inside edge on it. Leg byers will be signalled, or will they? Maybe there was a little inside tickle on it.
The umpire appears to think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, when it first started, I believe Ebony Rainford Brent was pretty instrumental in getting it off the ground, and it was just felt to be a great way of kind of marking this rivalry between these two London sides that's obviously so important in men's cricket and has been in women's cricket as well, perhaps not to quite the same extent, but certainly in recent years it's really been a fixture that a lot of the players kind of want to play in, and it's nice for some of these players as well, given that they don't play a lot of county cricket anymore. These are the kind of fixtures that, you know, if they are permitted to play and if they're available to play, then they enjoy playing, and especially here at the Kia Oval. It looks like we've got Bryony Smith coming on.
Thank you. Sunglasses on, Smith's in. This ball's eased away into the offside. No run. Fran Wilson with 46 in that inaugural fixture. Middlesex 126 for 7. Surrey 101 all out. This ball's eased to backward point, just fine of the fielder, and they'll get through for a single. Porter's on to 12, 20 for 1 Middlesex. Following year, 31 off 17 from Beth Morgan. Anyone remember her? Middlesex 123.
Certainly do. Believe that she's currently to be found coaching for Southern Vipers.
Indeed. This ball's clipped away out to deep mid wicket for a single, 21 for 1. And then came in 2017 Radlett fixture. That was the first home game for Middlesex. Natasha Miles got 50, player of the match. 150 was the record score in this fixture, but it was only a 3-run win, believe it or not. Lots of flight on this outside off. It's just met in the block hole by Porter and pushed to mid off a dot ball. That Lawes fixture, sadly, was 2019, wasn't it? And that was the DLS one. Lots of flight. Reverse sweep onto the pads. Big appeal, not out. Also, now, leg by is not signalled, so there was a little something on it. Had to be close. It was very full and very straight, that ball. So a little something on it has saved Porter. Moves to 13. 22 for 1. Smith again, and oh goodness me, now Hawley rocked back to try and clip that into the onside to begin with. Thought it was going down the leg side and wasn't going to play it. All just straightened on her. Ended up wearing it somewhere on the hip guard, not uncomfortably, but it was the fact that I think she thought it was drifting down leg. Yeah, just misjudged.
Yeah, a lot of uncertainty there. Good over to start with from Bryony Smith. It's gone for just 3. Yeah, I was thinking about that, the Lords London Cup match. It was actually Lauren Bell's debut game for Middlesex, that game, because she did have a summer of playing for Middlesex kind of before regional cricket kicked off, and now she's obviously very busy, not just playing for Southern Vipers but playing for England, as we've seen in the last few weeks. But that was quite an exciting game for her, because Middlesex ended up needing, I think it was 8 from the last 5 balls, and she was sent out.
It's Gregory bowls, that goes big into the onside, down the throat of deep square and gone. 22 for 2 Middlesex. Porter's gone for 13. Gregory picks up a wicket with her first ball, start of the 6th. Middlesex lose their second wicket. Pretty central surface today, isn't it? Big boundary away to square leg. Some pretty big pickup.
Yeah, it's quite, that is quite a big boundary out to square leg. Pretty easy catch, I think.
Probably what, 4 to the right of the test track, would that be fair to say? If looking from the Vauxhall end to the pavilion.
Yep.
There or thereabouts, and yeah, boundary rope just slightly in, away to the old Peter May stand. I suppose it still is in a way, but yeah, boundary in about 18-20 yards on that side, all the way back towards Archbishop Tennyson's. And that was where deep square took the catch. Monday in at 4. 22 for 2, and a bit of work to do here for Middlesex.
Well, I'm hoping Monday does well, because I bumped into her parents on the way here, walking from the station down to the ground, and they said, "Oh, hello, are you Raf Nicholson?" Which is always quite flattering when it happens. Seems to be happening a bit more over the last few weeks. I suppose because of our Cricket Her weekly video that we do.
Ah. Gregory to Monday. First ball floated up there, nicely bowled, and strikes on the hip again, that one. Raf, you're a superstar now. We were trying to work out when we first met earlier on, but it was, or where indeed, I do remember where, it was at Lord's, but what the event was. Introduced by Isabel Westbury, no less. Here's Gregory bowls, flight down the leg side, swept away, fine of that deep square fielder. They'll pick up 2, around comes deep square, and 2 at yep, they've come back for 2, comfortably enough, I think, yes. To be 4 for 2.
Isabel Westbury, who herself played in at least 2 London Cups.
Captained,
I can remember.
didn't she?
Of course, yeah.
Gregory, lots of flight, driven away and pierces the covers. Chase on here for Capsey from mid-off, coming around behind those 2 fielders. They've taken a couple more. Monday's on to 4, 26 for 2. We couldn't remember the event though, because it was an evening event. It was Lord's, which meant probably a few glasses of red had been sunk by that point.
Probably, yeah.
Feels like many moons ago now, but then everything does. It was kind of post and pre-COVID, wasn't it?
The pandemic has warped everybody's sense of time.
Lots of flight on this, full toss, push back to mid-off for a quick single. Throw will come in, but they are through comfortably. Monday's on to 5. And one to go, the 6th, last over the power play. Deep square and deep mid-wicket are back. Sweep back to the square on the leg side. They'll take a single, and it's 28 for 2. So power play done, 28 for 2. The record score, as I said, between these 150. That was at Radlett. Slightly smaller playing area, and of course at Radlett they have the it's almost like a mound in the middle. Ropes drop away either side. Well, the ground drops away either side to the ropes. So there you go, power play done, 2 wickets, 28 runs.
Yeah, I mean, you'd say that Surrey are going to be happier with the situation
as
it stands. Not sure that we're going to be seeing Middlesex overtake that record score at the rate that they're currently going at.
This one's clipped to mid-wicket by Hawley on 8. No run. Smith's second over. Bit of flight. This ball's worked away into the onside. Quick single, just fine on mid-wicket. 29 for 2.
Just reflecting on that COVID period, I remember this London Cup being, I think it was the first match that took place at the Oval after the first lockdown in the UK. So I remember coming here, it would have been June in 2020, and it was just after the government had said it was okay to play cricket again.
So it's pushed to mid-off, no run. Extra cover gets there first indeed, no run.
So Surrey were great, and they said, right, well, we're going to have this as the first fixture when cricket properly resumes at the Kia Oval. So I thought that was actually really great.
Bit of flight, short and through, it's gone, top of off stump. Oh, that was beautifully bowled. Just floated, really. Thought at first that it was going to be a full toss, but the flight, and it was beautiful. It's hit the top of off, just dipped nicely. And, well, the mistake is made, rocking back. looking to pull it away into the onside. It was just beautifully bowled. As I say, out of the hand, I thought that's nicely flighted, and it was nicely flighted because it landed on a beautiful length, kicks up and takes the top of off, but then she rocked back, looking to pull it away. It wasn't quite short enough to play that shot, was it? Looking to pull it off the top of off.
No, she's misjudged that. I mean, Bryony Smith is a very experienced player, and Emily Monday is, I think, one of Middlesex's younger players, so experience tells, I guess.
Yeah, I didn't play her last year, so I'm just looking back at the sides of last year. Datani, Griffith, Carr, Miles, Marriott. Goal, Porter, Patel, Wolf, Gajipra and Thorpe. Middlesex side, Capsey, Gordon, Chatley, White, Brewer, Jones, Southby, Gray, Berry, Kerrins and Gregory with a Surrey 11.
So a similar looking Surrey, but quite a different looking Middlesex, actually.
Oh, just seen pictures come through of the Surrey away game. What is the score? 2:14 for 6, the live pictures from Marina Road, Scarborough's. On the back foot, here's the same first ball, gets back and across, pushes back up the track to Gregory. Oh, it's been teased away from us. I can't remember what the Surrey target was off the top of my head, but 13 to win, is it? Oh, there's that. Smith bowls and forward goes Hussain, pushing back up the track, and there's no run. Keeping wicket tonight. 2:16 for 6, Folkes 35, Hardy 36. 11 runs to win, minimum overs remaining 2.2. Goodness me. Here, 7 overs gone. Middlesex 29 for 3 in the London Cup.
Do we think it's as warm in Scarborough as it is here?
No.
I just can't imagine it being warm in Scarborough.
No. No, done a good few games in Scarborough. Actually, you know, I don't think I've ever been bitterly cold up there, so I'm not going to complain too much.
Oh, I have.
One rain-affected match, but
when the England women played 2 ODIs there against India in 2014, I think it was, and it was very, very cold. And the poor Indian women's team had no idea what was going on. They were very cold.
This is hit in the air and over. Mid on that goes from Hawley, moves to 13, 33 for 3. Sweet pickup off Gregory that. Lovely shot, 33 for 3 in the 8th.
Yeah, so I'm afraid my memories of Scarborough are not. I mean, England did win both the matches, but they're not of it being a particularly balmy place.
Bit of flight. Oh, that's beautifully bowled. Hawley backed up to that one and in the end dabs the bat, traps the bat down and off stump, saving herself. Picks up a single to short third, 34 for 3. Gregory flipping the ball hand to hand. In again, bowls. Nice bit of flight on that off stump again. Saying good stride in defence into the offside, no run. Oh, attempted sweep from Hussain through to the gloves. Thought that passed leg side. Has that been given? Not been given as a wide? Maybe my eyes deceived me, and it did go over the top of the stumps indeed. Gregory again, lots of flight. Oh, now that one goes down the leg side. Must have just taken a bit of pad on the way through to the keeper. Not a wide signal again. Hussain trying to help it on its way. I did wonder if she stepped across too much there and was going to be bowled down the leg side. Deep cover dropping back. They've only had deep square and deep mid-wicket back so far. Deep cover goes back now. And it's Gregory to Hussain. Lots of flight and driven back to the bowler. No run. It's wide outside off there. And Hussain might be slightly regretful. He should wait in a little more and push it for a single out to the deep cover. But a dot ball to end the over. 34 for 3. It is after 8. Middlesex being kept well in check here by Surrey. So yeah, the two previous oval scores, or I should say the first two oval scores, are 126 and 123 for Middlesex in those first 2 years. And 2020 was oval as well. Middlesex 108 for 7. Surrey won by 4 wickets, but with 1 ball to spare. Chasing down 109 to win.
Yes, I remember it. We felt that it was going to be a relatively straightforward chase, and then it looked like they were going to bungle it. But Kira Chatley was quite instrumental in them actually managing to get there in the end.
A lot of flight driven by Hawley to mid-on, no run. Miles into the attack for the first time at the pavilion end. It comes the left armour once more, and this is cut away by Hawley. Just gives herself a little bit of room. Let's get the single out to deep cover. 35 for 3. Left arm around, it's the same again. This ball's cut to backward point, quick singles taken, throw to the non-strikers in, through. Sainz off the mark, had to be sharp about that one. 36 for 3 it is. This is ball short, goes up in the air, top edge, deep squares underneath it, deep square, holds on, yes. Thought she was going to spill it for a moment. Thought that ball might just have popped back out. But holding out at deep square is Brewer. And Middlesex 36 for 4 in the 9th as Hawley departs for 15. Huge wicket.
Yes, it sort of dipped on her right at the last minute, didn't she? And she kind of had to lean forward to take it. And then looked like she had slightly slippery hands, which I guess is understandable given how hot it is out there at the moment. But she did hold on. So that's another dent in Middlesex's hopes, really.
Yeah, 4 down, could be trouble. 4 down in the 9th. So Hawley gone for 15. Monday last to go for 5. Just realised I've written down mode of dismissal and not the number. It was 5, wasn't it, for Monday? Oh no, you've written something else. What have you written?
I haven't written down how many.
Oh, there you go. It was 5. It was definitely 5.
My notes obviously aren't as copious and accurate as yours.
So Hawley departs for 15. Middlesex 36 for 4, having won the toss here at the Oval.
Yeah, Middlesex need to really get a bit of a jolly on here. Obviously that's hard when you've got 2 new batters at the crease. They need somebody to kind of take the game by the scruff of the neck and insert some oomph into this innings, I think. Is that fair?
Mm-hmm. I think so.
I've not seen Surrey before, but I have heard great things about her.
15 years of age, right-handers on strike, turns this one just fine, a mid-wicket, quick single taken. 37 for 4. Yes. Go on, keep going, because I think I know what you're going to say. Well, you might not be able to say all of what you said earlier on air. On air, you might not be able to say it, but...
No, we were chatting to Warren Carr, who works for the ECB as a kind of talent scout, so watches a lot of the junior games, junior Sunrisers and other regional.
Oh, tucked up there, same, but managed to dig it out somehow.
Other kind of the young regional games that are going on, obviously beneath the senior stuff. So as a really integral part of the new structure, they've got all these new pathways with much more opportunities, kind of more structured opportunities for talented juniors now. And he was saying that he thinks that she's going to be very good. So yeah, I had not seen her before, had not heard the name, but apparently she is really one to watch, and obviously we get to watch her now this evening. So It's fortuitous.
Here's Gregory. Oh, that's chipped up. Just short of mid-off. Capsey coming in. Goodness me. Surrey Kumar was nearly in big trouble there. Moves to 2, 38 for 4. Just completely misjudged it. Gentle push back to mid-off. Oh, this is dragged short by Gregory. Just really dragged that one down. An attempted sweep. Was given a leg by. Attempted sweep by Hussain. 39 for 4. Got away with that one. Gregory. Bane of the leg spinner, isn't it? When you the wrist spinner, you drag it down. And there she goes the other way on that one. Overcompensates. The two difficulties for a wrist spinner: you either just hold on and grip too long and drag down a nasty long hop, or you let go too early and it floats up. She gets away, just a leg by off the previous and a single off this, driven to cover. 40 for 4. Just struggling with the release. Gregory, here she comes again from Vauxhall ends. Full bunger again, swept away, just a single. That one wouldn't have been far off. A no waist high, no ball. The umpire's just having a look, but they're happy. Dipped enough. Cry usually from the other end at this point is watch for the good ball. 3 slipping out or dragged down by Gregory. She's in now, floats that one up outside off. Through goes to the gloves of the keeper. Attempted cut from Surrey Kumar. Last ball of the opening 10. Here at the Oval in the London Cup. 41 for 4. So that's given a bit of flight. Hit up in the air. Right underneath it, Surrey Kumar, and underneath it taking the catch is Capsey. 41 for 5. Surrey Kumar's gone for 4. And Gregory strikes. Halfway stage. Middlesex in a lot of trouble here at the Kia Oval. They're 41 for 5.
Yeah, Capsey didn't make any mistake about that one. Moved into the right position pretty quickly, got under it and held on very safely.
Trouble for Middlesex. Big trouble indeed.
What's the lowest score in London Cup history? Do we have that statistic?
Well, we could go back to that.
to us?
I could be cheeky and go back to that 2019 Lords fixture. Surrey 28 for 3. The Duckworth-Lewis score was 26. Was it 26 from 5? Tasha Miles had 8 unbeaten. I'm actually, hold on, my notes are terrible on that because I'm trying to work out who won it now, the 29 fixture at Lords. There's only one Surrey win. So, no, so it was Middlesex, yeah, because there was only one Surrey win, so it was. So the DLS revision was for them to chase 26,
okay.
Which they did for 5. So, but that was DLS. So Middlesex is 108 for 7 here at the Oval. Surrey winning with 1 ball to spare by 4 wickets. That's the lowest in a full 20 overs.
Okay, so we could be on course for history this evening here at the Kia Oval.
Start of the 11th, and it's Hussain pushes this one to extra cover. No run. Miles around the wicket. Oh, it's the 11th over. We've forgotten, haven't we? How rude. I said your introduction was bad.
I got too excited about the lowest ever score.
That's all right. You've bought yourself another over. Here's Miles to Hussain. It's onto the pads and there's no run. Sid Egan will be alongside us in just a moment. We'll do a handover at the end of the 11th now. Halfway stage past. Middlesex not past 50 yet. As Hussain turns to mid-wicket, no run. Yeah, Surrey Kumar just a little carried away there with the match position. There's lots of time to go here for Middlesex. Have to be careful of their shot selection at the moment. This ball's pushed up to mid-on by Hussain. There's no run. I was actually going to come to the point, even before the shot, that Surrey have every right at the moment to bring up the field. They've got 3 back. Deep mid-wicket. Deep square and deep cover. This ball's pushed back by Hussain. There's no run. They could easily have everybody up at the moment. Pressure's on Middlesex.
Yeah, absolutely.
Kill the singles and say, right, you've got to take big risks to find your runs. At 5 down, got a stranglehold on. This one's up there and driven to mid-on. Quick single taken. Stump's thrown down. There's going to be overthrows, buzzers. Oh, yes, no, yes, no, no, no. The throw's going to go to the wicket keeper's end and they're going to get away with it. Well, to be fair to Gajipra, she was absolutely correct that there was 2 there, because Hussain is comfortably home in the end. The ball was to the left hand of mid-off. Apologies, the left hand of mid-off. It was the left hand of the fielder who was backing up at mid-off after the throw originally came in from mid-on. By the time the throw eventually came in, Gajipra was just about there. It's the end of the 11th. It's the end of Rafa now. Thanks, Raf. We'll see you in the chase, which at the moment doesn't look like it's going to be a tricky one for Surrey, but who knows. Here's Capsey. Will be one of those fronting up the chase. Smith and Chatley expected to start up. I'd like to say Sid Egan is alongside us for the back 9 now. Was for the back 10, but how are you?
Good. Enjoying my Thursday night cricket. Enjoying seeing Alice Capsey take her second over.
There she goes, a couple of catches as well. Steps in now, bowls, and nice line and length. Forward goes Gajipra, easing away into the offside, no run.
Yeah, she bowls almost like she's doing it in slow motion. Very sort of precise action. She's definitely looking to try and get turn on the ball.
Just trying to think who she reminds me of. The way there's just that. Yeah, as you say, it's almost statuesque, isn't it? It's like freeze frame as this ball's cut away back at a point. For 2 by Gajipra, she's off the mark. 45 for 5. It's a methodical, paced approach from Capsey. It's almost a ponderous approach, isn't it? So she's still thinking about what she's going to do. She comes in now, bowls, lots of flight, and that's driven back. Really does remind me of someone. I'm trying to put my finger on who it is.
Yeah, and she's definitely trying to get a lot of spin. So a lot of our spinners are just going for sort of accuracy, and they're not going to get an awful lot of spin, whereas she's trying to get a lot of revolutions on the ball. There's a lot of movement in her wrist and her fingers.
So it's driven to cover. Dot ball once more. Fielded by Brewer. 45 for 5. Looks as though we're going to be comfortably on, even if they bat out their overs. Oh, Thursday evening started early for Raf. It's water, everyone, it's water. Lots of flight on this. Oh, past the edge. Gajipra's bat, and there's no run. I did do that to Kevin Howes on 5 Live once. He wasn't best impressed. Evening all. He'll have just come off air as well with that game up at Scarborough, which I'm assuming Surrey got over the line. I haven't actually seen the result yet. I have to check and see. 4 wicket win for Surrey up at Scarborough. This ball's onto the pads. How is that? Is the cry from Capsey. Floated up towards leg stump, but drifting down is the decision of the umpire. 12 gone here on the Surrey stream at the Kia Oval. Middlesex are 45 for 5. Gajipra has 2. Hussain has 4.
You see another over of Miles, is that?
Looks as though it will be.
Bryony Smith likes to mix her bowling up. She'll use a lot of bowlers, and she's not someone that takes a load of plans into the game. She watches the game situation and will make her decisions based on who's in the middle and how she thinks she can get wickets in that particular moment.
Miles around the wicket bowls. This is pushed back by Hussain. Dot ball again. Middlesex just having to consolidate here. Hussain backs up to this one, eases into the offside, no run. 45 for 5. They really could. Surrey put the pinch on at the moment, bringing the field up.
Survival very much the priority for Middlesex.
Into the pads from Hussain, falls away into the offside and there's no run. Down the track comes Hussain, lifts this one towards mid-on, doesn't go fully through with it, it drops short of the fielder. Smith, the skipper, in there. Snaffle anything that comes away. Hussain just about managed to not heave it away fully. 45 for 5. Lots of flight on this. Push to mid-on, quick single taken by Hussain. See, even there I'm thinking Surrey could kill that single. I don't think mid-off and mid-on, particularly at the moment, need to be on the edge of the circle, but perhaps they are thinking, look, if they try and go, let's get the catch. We'll give them the singles if they want. If they try and get over the top, then let's make sure that we're there for the catch. A lot of flight again, driven away, this time to extra cover by Gajipra. Dot ball. End of the 13th, 46 for 5. Rattling through this at the moment. Surrey?
I think there's no shame on a young, quite inexperienced Middlesex team. They're up against a very good Surrey team. There's definitely an imbalance in the selections, as you and Raf discussed earlier. You know, and for these two out here, it's important that they try and create a positive experience of being out there, and they're probably not going to hit a lot of runs, but if they can stay out there for another 3 or 4 overs, then they'll have done a job, I guess. You have to look at the positive light of what they can achieve.
Gordon on from the Vauxhall ends. Right arm over. 4 back now. 3rd deep cover, long leg and deep square. It's dragged down outside off by Gordon. Attempted cut by Hussain, gets away with it. Maybe went at it a little too hard. The same. Gordon gets away with it. Top ball to start the 14th. This one's hit uppish again into the offside. Quick single taken. Oh, slow setting off and gone by a mile. Gajipra's gone by nearly a 1/3 of the track. You have to look back at the replay, but I think she was very late setting off on that. Hussain charged to the non-striker's end. I think there probably was a run there if Gajipra went to go. Let's see on the replay. There must have, it's just pulled away. It must have just been a, well, not even a yes-no. I think it was just a clear yes from Hussain. Gajipra must have gone with a clear no, and by the time she set off, she was well short. 46 for 6 Middlesex, and that'll come as a real frustration, that one.
Yeah, nicely taken by Southby. It wasn't right on the stump. She had to bring it back a little. There's been interesting competition over the last few years between Southby and Kira Chatley. Trying to grab the wicket-keeping duties for both Surrey and the Stars. Looks like this year that Southby's been mostly doing the job for Surrey, and obviously Chatley's stepped up and been doing it for the Stars. Rhianna Southby will be very keen to prove herself in fixtures like this and to kind of remind the coaches and things that she can do a job as well behind the stumps.
So Pendoria is the new batter for Middlesex. What was the Chatley announcement just there from the PA? Which has just thrown me slightly. They've confirmed the run out was Chatley. I think they went with the wrong run out to begin with on the scoreboard, but they've changed it now to Chatley. Gajipra gone for 2. Hussain's on 5, and Gordon is in. Bowls past the edge. Beautiful line and length. Midway through the 14th. This is a hard toil now for Middlesex. A young Middlesex side, as Sid Egan alongside me was just summarising. Have to take their positives from it. But tough out there at the moment. Gordon's in. Bowls right up there, and Hussain pushes back, checking the drive. Thought for a moment she was going to play inside that one and go through. Get a leading edge back into the offside. Body was opening up, looking towards the onside. So too was the bat with the stumps fully on display. Right up there again. That's driven nicely this time to mid-on, but straight to Smith. He'll be a very pleased Surrey skipper. Wonder what she'd have done on winning the toss. She would have batted first against this young Middlesex side. At the moment, do not look like they're going to be setting Surrey particularly testing target here at the Kia Oval this evening. Gordon's in, and that goes past the edge, shoots the gloves again. This is a cracking over. Pindoria beat him 46 for 6.
Yeah, Amy Gordon very much bread and butter bowler. She's not got electrifying pace, so she needs to get it on the mark, and you know, that was a good over.
Wicket maiden, thank you kindly. It's pointed out by Rafa. Wicket maiden completed. 46 for 6. Very good from Gordon. And Gajit for a run out by Chatley for 2. You can shout at us, Raf, don't worry. You've been very polite and whispering it there. Go on, shout. Does it count as a wicket? Do you know, I asked myself that, but I didn't question you. I was like, I'm going with it. It's fine. 46 for 6 after 14. Lots of flight, and back and across goes Hussain. Eases this one into the offside, and there's no run.
Capsy switch ends again. This is again Bryony Smith's. You know, what's going to get me a wicket in this particular situation? Happy to change things up.
Lots of flight. Dug out into the onside by Hussain. No run. The shadow of the stand here at the Vauxhall end. The J.M. Finn stand is just creeping out towards the square now. Capsy for a couple of paces, a little leap, and this is turned for a single through square leg by Hussain. Moves to 6, 47 for 6. At 6 down, it feels for Middlesex as though they've got to leave this now until very nearly the 18th, I'd suggest. And the 15th now, I think they've just got to nudge and nurdle the singles for a couple of overs, risk-free. Bide their time. Oh, that's going to be close to a wide from Capsy. Let go. Outside off. Umpire had a moment's pause to think. Don't you worry, Raf. Shout. You can shout. There's no interrupting. Don't you worry. That was generous indeed. This ball's eased away by Pindoria into the offside. Extra cover. It's fielded. There's no run. We could just rope that FX mic back in and you could use that one. Or you could go and stand next to Jake outside next to the FX mic. Swing and a miss from Pindoria, and that is the 7th wicket. 47 for 7. Off stumps, rocks back, playing across the line. Pressure telling here on Middlesex.
You were asking whether Surrey would have bowled or would have batted, sorry, if they had won the toss, and I think that they would have done. I think Bryony would have loved to be out there, and she'd have been smashing it to all ends of the grounds. I think one thing that we're seeing here is the difference in kind of power between the regional players and the players that are playing at the professional end of the system, and most of the Middlesex team still amateurs and training once or twice a week, and there is a big difference in their ability to be able to find the boundaries and things. And I think that's going to tell when we see Surrey batting. I think we're going to see them finding the boundaries much easier. They are, as you mentioned, quite big boundaries here. In the past in these fixtures here, we've seen some very, very small boundaries. It felt like the players were, 100 miles away. I do like to see the boundaries out, and the feeling that the ground is actually being filled and being used to its sort of, all of the grass space being used.
Yeah, that may factor in a little bit in the chase if Middlesex can get off to a good start with the ball, but Surrey will really fancy their chances against, at the moment, what's looking a very tough score. As I say, I think that at 7 down there, it's almost the 19th before Middlesex can think of charging again. To take 18 balls, get what singles they can off those. As this ball is worked away nicely into the onside by Hussain off Gordon. Started the 16th, and that's 4. Goodness me, that's a welcome boundary. It's a long while since a ball's popped over the boundary rope. 50 up for Middlesex, 51 for 7. Was in the air for a moment in front of mid-wickets. Gray in there. I wondered whether she would be able to get across.
Just safe.
Since the 8th over, first boundary since the 8th. We're in the 16th now as here's Gordon's response, and that's hit back down the ground, but straight of mid-off and short of mid-off as around comes Gregory. There's no run.
Yeah, not really any power in the shot again.
Okay, Kopak taking strike. Taking guard as well. Gordon's in. No, she's not. No, it was Kopak who wasn't ready. Balls are all right up there and dug out into the offside again. It's good from Surrey. Keep it on the stumps at the moment, and Middlesex is having difficulty scoring off those stumps because they're very wary. Deep covers back, deep third as well, but sure Gordon will be looking to keep it straight at the moment. Same again, top of off, but that one's eased to backward point. They threw! Throw comes in, Bale's whipped off. Hussain is safe. Kopak's off the mark, 53 for 7. Good running. Tense though. What can they muster for these last 4.2 overs? Goes Gordon. Bowl short, and that one's worked away into the onside by Hussain. Single taken, moves to 12, 54 for 7.
Big gaps there in the leg side, so there's plenty of scope for taking those singles if you can just push it out towards the ring. Now, having said that, the gap is about to be plugged.
In. Come back forward. Oh, that bounced up towards the splice. It's eased away into the offside, opening the face, trying to ride that bounce. Kopak, end of the 16th, 4 to go. 54 for 7. Again, I'd take the next 12 deliveries, get what singles you can off it, and then really open up in the last 2 at 7 down. Just try and get towards that. Well, what can you do off 12? I mean, if you're taking 10 off the next 12. Middlesex, get them up to 64, and then from there just try and open up what you can to get towards 90 perhaps at the end of the innings. 54 for 7. The biggest problem is that last column, the wicket column. Smith on from the pavilion end. Oh, that wraps on the pads and it's going to be close. Attempted sweep from Hussain. Kopak is home, but only just. Throw coming from backward points, where they'd nearly got themselves into a horrible mix-up there. Kopak was back in the end. Although, Sid, you're not wholly in agreement.
I think they've got away with one there.
Let's have a look and see. Ooh. Probably freeze frame that. Go on, rock and roll for us, Raf. Hussain on strike. Down the track she comes, drives, and gets through for the single. Actually, it deflects from mid-wicket straight of mid-on, and they have a single. It was a good stop by Miles, but wrong-footed mid-on with the deflection of the ball. Kopak back onto strike. Single to her name. Hussain's on 13. For 7, 16.2 bowled. This is wristily swept away out to deep mid wicket for A single by Kopak doubles her tally, 56 for 7. What do you reckon, 90 Sid, or?
Looks a long way off, doesn't it? But I think it's important for them to try and stay out there.
Down the track comes Hussain. Wishes a single to mid-on. Throw comes in, good throw, just misses. It was sharp, it was low, it was swift. Good running from Hussain. It was only just missing the stump, that throw. I think that'd have been through. 57 for 7. But only had really one chance at the pick-up and release to try and put the pressure on. Picked up, released well, just missed the target marginally. Swept away by Kopak. So be a single more, moves to 3. 58 for 7.
I think there's probably more value for these batters in terms of staying out there and just picking up the odd single. I think if they try and smash it, they're just going to get out.
That's it. I think these 2 overs, the 17th and 18th now, it's just nudge and nurdle. There are singles there. That's why I'm almost surprised that field didn't come in earlier to try and dry up the singles. As down the track comes Hussain to this one and swats it just fine, a mid-wicket on this occasion. And a single is there. Just it's the right hand of Miles. So 59 for 7. Again, you know, just another 6 off this over, 5 or 6 off this over, up to 65. Could they muster 25 off the last 2? Big boundaries here. I say 90 would just be something to bowl at because of the size of the boundaries tonight. 59 for 7 it is. To be honest, the position they've been in, Middlesex, I think even 80 is something to bowl at tonight, isn't it? With those boundaries, it can wholly rule out Middlesex managing to get off to a good start themselves in the power play and make a match of it. There's Eva Gray back on at the Vauxhall end. This ball's right up there. It's the pads drifting down leg, Hussain on 15. Again. A lot of flight down the leg side. That comes off the keeper's pads, I think. Wide signalled, yes, 60 for 7. Every little helps. Middlesex have 1 for the over with 1 legitimate ball bowls. So can they just rattle along up to 65 and then really tee off for the last 2? Saying pretty well set now, 15. She tee off now, swings that one into the onside, only as far as mid-wicket, and there's no run. Long on's back. You know, the dot ball there from Hussain, she's trying to get it either side of the mid-wicket fielder and fancy that she can power it in between the long on and the deep mid-wicket, but at this stage I think probably singles are better than the dot balls. 60 for 7 it is. Lots of flight. Oh, dug out, well bowled. Hussain, you could see he was opening the body up to try and access that onside again. Ball dips down into the block hole. 3 dot balls with the legitimate deliveries, the one wide as well, midway through the 18th, 60 for 7. Hussain awaits. Gray bowls, and again dragged straight to the mid-wicket by Hussain. It's an easy game set up here, isn't it? But it almost feels as though she's looking for too much but getting nothing in return by going straight to mid-wicket each time. Let's try and drop that single down to long on. 2 left of the 18th. Short, this time hit up in the air down to long on for a single by Hussain. Just a little back foot punch into the onside. Gordon coming up at long on.
Eva Gray and Amy Gordon playing very kind of similar roles in terms of their bowling roles, and have been playing together for a long time, and there's a certain amount of competition between them. Eva Gray at the moment has got the edge in terms of the games that she's playing and the games that she's being selected for.
Full toss, driven back to mid-off by Kopak, no run. End of the 18th, 61 for 7. I was saying they get to 65-ish by the end of the 18th and then try and hit their way to 90 perhaps. They've got to hit their way to something here. Certainly 80 now, I think, has got to be on their mind. 19 runs off the last 12 deliveries. They've got to find a couple of boundaries per over you fancy.
I feel it's a big ask.
Oh, definitely. Huge ask. But they've got to try. Now, let's bowl the last over from the pavilion end. The last over, yeah, the last over from the pavilion end. I was correct, that's what I said. The 19th will be Alice Capsey. So 61 for 7 it is after 18. Hussein's on strike on 16. Down the track, pushes a single, straight to the mid-wicket, wide of the mid-on. 62 for 7, over to Kopak. Surrey will keep it on the stumps here. They've got their offside field up. 4 on the offside, 5 on the on. 2 back, a deep mid-wicket and deep square. Capsey won't be leaving the stumps. He'll be trying not to leave the stumps in this over. Down the track comes Kopak, hits it to mid-on, has to run hard, runs hard, throw comes in, and she's through. I think she'd have been okay either way. 63 for 7. Flight again, down the track comes Hussein, low full toss, hit straight to mid-wicket. Throw comes in to Capsey from Miles, but just a bit of a loopy throw straight at the bowler. It needed to be a direct hit to have a chance. Single taken, 64 for 7. Kopak back onto strike. Oh, a bit of width on this one. That one gives her the chance to free up the arms, but only picks out mid-on. 8th wicket down. Middlesex are 64 for 8. Kopak's gone for 4. I think it was Smith with the catch. Capsey strikes. It was width outside off stump. Thought she might try and penetrate that offside field, but instead ended up dragging it with the arc of the arms. Tried to go back down the ground. Straight to Smith at mid-on it was. 64 for 8. Capsey strikes again.
Yeah, Middlesex finding it hard work to get over the ring. 2 wickets remaining. Can they go the distance?
So Taylor Yates is in at 10 with 8 balls remaining of the innings. Hussein will not be on strike because the new rulings, of course, means that the new batter has to be, whether they crossed or not. So Taylor Yates it is. Whether they did cross, I'm not even sure. Oh, Raf.
Interestingly, that doesn't apply in women's internationals for another 3 months or so, as we learnt the other night when...
Is Raf going to tell me now that it doesn't apply in this fixture either? Ah. I think they did cross. It was in the air for a little while, wasn't it? Either, I mean, well, maybe they didn't, but I'm assuming. No, I thought you were looking at me quizzically because you thought I was wrong. As this ball's hit to mid-on by Taylor Yates, first ball, no run. 64 for 8, Middlesex.
Yeah, we had a question in the press box at the England women's game because the batters had crossed and they stayed at their ends. And
oh, that's gone through.
Straight through.
And bowled. And Taylor Yates has gone for a duck. Capsey has 2 in 3 deliveries. Middlesex 9 down and nearly done. 64 for 9.
And they won't be changing ends at that one. Anyway, the question was put up to the match referee, and the match referee confirmed that in the women's fixtures this summer in this country in the women's ODIs, the old rule will continue to apply.
Alice Capsey, 4 overs, 1 maiden. Was that the end of the over? I thought, yes it was, apologies. Yeah. 4 overs, 1 maiden, 6 runs, 3 wickets. 3 for 6 from her 4, Alice Capsey. Goodness me. She might struggle to beat that in a T20 as her bowling return. Outstanding figures. 64 for 9. I'll say that confidently, she'll have a 4 for already. because it's Alice Capsey, so of course she will. Thorpe out to bat at number 11. But crucially, Hussain is on strike for the final over, and I think it's just got to be C-ball hitful from Hussain here. She's got every right to swing now. No point pushing a single at this stage. Try and find the gaps, which are basically mid-wicket and over mid-off, I'd suggest. This ball short, goes up in the air, and that could be the end of the innings. It's short of mid-off running in. Now, if they're sharp, there's two there, but they haven't quite picked up on it. It's just a single. Hussain's on to 19. It looped back over Eva Gray. And Mars coming around from mid-off, ran past it in the end, having gone for the catch as it dropped fine over it. Also then saw her overshoot. Thorpe has got to drop a single somehow for Hussain. 65 for 9. And this one's onto the hips. Got to run the leg by. They do. It's comfortably fine with the backward point down to deep third. 66 for 9. 4 to go. This one swung away into the onside as far as mid-wicket by Hussain. Didn't get hold of it. She's hit that fielder a lot, hasn't she? Smith at mid-wicket.
Yeah, and Gray's very much saying, you know, you need to play in the V here. There's plenty of space backward of square, but you know, she's not going to allow her the room to access that sweep shot.
Short, flat, hard, and hit to mid-wicket by Hussain, and this time it does pierce the field. Got to come back for the second. Back they come. 68 for 9. Smith couldn't block it off, just really dragged it down.
Yeah, that was poor from Bryony Shilby.
Oh, it went between her legs, did it? Smith will be disappointed. She drops back to deep mid-wicket. And up inside the circle comes fine leg, so it's long on deep mid-wicket and deep square back as well as cover on the offside. Here's Gray, bowls and stumped. I think that has bounced back off the keeper's gloves. I don't think she took it cleanly. I think it fell back out of the gloves onto the stump. So we'll have a look on the replay in a moment. But 68 all out. Middlesex are done here at the Kia Oval. Let's have a quick glance before we head downstairs and grab a brief respite. Yes. Yep. Oh no, no, she did it cleanly. My apologies. I thought it was the ball that ricocheted away. It was actually one of the bails that pronounced fell away into the offside. I thought it came back down out of the gloves onto the stumps, and it was the ball that deflected away into the offside. But it was indeed the bails. One of the bails that fell away quite brightly and pronounced. I thought it was the white ball dropping away into the offside. My apologies. That was a wonderful stumping.
And Rihanna Southby's celebra feel where she points at the umpire.
Well, they can celebrate.
That's her trademark.
They can celebrate a fair bit there, can't they? 68 all out, Middlesex. Deep trouble for them. 69 to win here on the stream live from the Kia Oval, the Surrey stream. We're going to take a quick break because it is only a short break, isn't it? 10 minutes. So we'll go freshen up. And, well, all right, we'll be honest, we'll go and have something to eat. And be back up in 10 minutes on the commentary. Join us back in a few moments, Sid, Raff and myself, Kevin Hand, for this one. 69 for Surrey to win in the London Cup here at the Kia Oval. Well, good evening everybody, and welcome back to the Kia Oval, where the run chase, a modest one for Surrey, is about to begin here on the live stream. Smith and Chatley out there to open. Kopak has the ball in hand for Middlesex, and in the commentary seat alongside me now, Raf Nicholson, myself, Kevin Hands, and we are looking at a modest chase, as I say, for Surrey. Middlesex 68 all out in the final over. It was a tricky, sticky innings for the visitors here in the London Cup. And Surrey looking for a second victory in this competition. Heavy favourites at the halfway stage. Here's Kopak. They're going to need something pretty brilliant from her. They've got a slip in place. And a wide first up. Oh, and it's burst through as well. And they'll run the wides. Not the start Middlesex needed. 2 without loss, Surrey. Welcome back, Raf.
Thanks. Yeah, good to be back. As you say, it's very much Surrey's to lose from here. And famous last words, but I think they're going to make very short work of this run chase. These are 2 players out here right now who are in good form in regional cricket, and are going to enjoy this, I think. Great opportunity to chase down some runs, have a nice time here in the sunshine at the Kia Oval.
So short outside the off-stump, cutaway boundary with the first legitimate ball of the innings. 6 without loss.
As I was saying.
Short and wide, put away.
I mean, all the pressure is on Middlesex here.
Hugely, hugely. Down the leg side, it's another wide, and this is a really, really tough start for Kopak and Middlesex. 2 back, deep square and deep third. Field up, it's a nervy power play in most circumstances for a bowler, but especially when you're only defending 68. This ball's right up there, pushed back by Chatley, and a dot ball. Second legitimate delivery of the innings, 7 without loss. Kopak, slow ball, turn to mid-wicket well bowled. Kopak running out of the sun into the shade. Slow ball again, right into the block hole. Spedder maybe just felt the pressure first few balls, pushed it through quicker, and just taking the pace off. I was going to say that was one of my summaries perhaps of that Surrey bowling performance, that Middlesex, if there's anything that they could learn with these big boundaries today, is maybe take the pace right off and say to Surrey, if you want to find the boundaries, you're going to have to hit hard.
Yeah, which both these players are capable of, but yeah, I think that would be a good way to approach it. Kopak's obviously, you know, probably the most experienced Middlesex player out there in terms of high-level cricket this season.
Bowls now, it's run to backward point, no run.
He's kind of a regular for the Sunrisers, so it makes sense for her to be opening up here. But she'd love a wicket. I mean, they need them.
That's all they can do is wickets, but again, pace off and on the stumps I think is really the only hope Middlesex have now. As here's Kopak in, pace off on the stumps, and it's driven back down the ground. 4 runs. Cracking shot that by Chatley. Doubles her tally. Surrey 11 without loss.
Beautiful shot.
Fine start. for the hosts in the chase. A modest one, as we said. 58 now to win for Surrey. And well, if they have a good power play, this could be over in a flash. Middlesex need a wicket to slow them down. Kopak's first over going for 11. Smith to have strike for the first time.
Just heard somebody say, "Come on, Bryony," very loudly in the stump mic, in the effects mic.
Well, so decent little crowd in for this one, isn't it? The pavilion looks pretty busy over there. Almost as it were a championship game, perhaps, for Surrey. Sprinkling in around the dugout below the dressing rooms. 1-2 away over by the Archbishop Tennysons, and here's Turner in, bowls, and that lovely ball. Bit of shape on that. Moving from leg to off with the bit of swing on that. And yeah, good few in the JM Finn stand as well.
This is Turner, who did not bat, because they are playing a particularly interesting substitute rule.
Shaw outside the off stump, through it goes. 11 without loss. Yes, indeed. Thank you for reminding me of that. It's written on the note here. Of course, she didn't bat. It's the 12th player name, but the substitute in would not bat, but will open the bowling.
Yeah, it's one that they introduced in the last year of the Women's County Championship in 2019. So basically, you can have 12 players, and you just nominate one person who's not going to bat.
Turner bowls. Oh, pushed back by Smith and put down. Got a left hand to it, fingertips. That would have been quite the start for Turner.
Smith put down on naught.
Slip remains in place. Turner's fourth ball. Bowls, that's hit to extra cover, no run. Sharp fielding, sharp take behind the stumps as well. Same.
I think Bryony Smith's a bit nervous here. It's not like her.
This is short. Oh, goodness me, that's cracked away.
Well, that'll do something about the nerves if she did have any.
There goes Turner again. Bowls right up there. That's driven hard, and that pierces the offsides. Smith doubles her tally now. Chatley and Smith operating in boundaries. Surrey are 19 without loss, 8 apiece to the Surrey opening pair. Two overs gone, 19 on the board, 50 more required. And Surrey, well, again, good power play here, and they're going to do this at a canter, aren't they? Pressure massively on Middlesex.
Yeah, I think they're going to be ruining that caught and bowled chance. You know, if you put down Bryony Smith on naught, then she's probably most times is going to make you pay for that. So that's disappointing, really, because they, yeah, it was hit back at her hard, but probably one that she'll be gutted not to have taken.
Pindoria from the pavilion end, lots of flight, swept hard out to deep mid wicket. This could be 4 more. It is. Bisects deep square and deep mid wicket. Brilliant from Chatley. She's on to 12. Surrey are 23 without loss. Pace off on the stumps, but Surrey are in full-on attack mode here, aren't they?
Yeah. I mean, this is what we expected right from the start. They're going to come out and attack this.
Gloria bowls, cuts a cover, no run. Goodness Must be Middlesex had to wait some time to bring up the 50 mark, didn't they? Surrey could well do it in the power play. 23 without loss in the third. This one's short and inside edge. Single taken to the short fine leg. Chatley's on to 13, 24 for one. First hard in mouth moment for Chatley.
It's one of those look behind you moments.
Got a fly outside off. Bale's whipped off, not out. Wide signals. Did think that that was pretty tight. Took a long while to have a think about it. Quite rightly called the wide in the end. 25 without loss now, Surrey. 14-year-old Pandora from the pavilion end. At the moment, this is here at the Oval. Seeing bowls, and this ball's cut to cover, no run. Smith remains on 8. Doria, lots of flight. Down the ground comes, down the track comes Smith, and down the ground goes the ball. Straight a mid off the pick up 2. Doesn't quite make the ropes. 27 without loss. One to go the third. Quite get all of it, Smith, on that occasion. She moves to 10 though. Doria holding a nerve here against this experienced pair. Smith backs away, cuts to cover, no run. 27 without loss, end of the over. And, lovely over it was from 14-year-old Pindoria.
Yeah, as you say, holding her own against you know, somebody who really is an explosive batter and probably one of the best openers in the country in this format. I don't think that's a controversial thing to say. I think Bryony Smith will definitely be you know, thinking that there's a possibility that she could still get an England call up to a T20 side. They obviously haven't announced their squad yet for the South Africa T20s or the Commonwealth Games. We don't know when that's going to happen, but it's going to be within the next few days. So, you know, and if that's not within her grasp, because obviously there's a lot of competition, she'll still be thinking that she's not out of contention for a spot in an England T20 side. So, yeah, definitely kind of watching out to see what happens there.
That's a good line length from Turner. This ball's pushed to extra cover, dot ball. .27 without loss, Surrey. Chasing 69 to win. Turner's in. Short, wide, outside the off stump. 28 without loss. Tough night for Middlesex. 5 extras on the board already, only in the 4th over.
Yeah, I have to say I think it's disappointing to see 2 sides out here tonight that are so obviously mismatched, with Middlesex having made the decision to withhold their best players.
Right up there, driven straight to mid-on. Round comes Gajipra with a good stop from mid-on.
I say Middlesex having made the decision. Obviously it's interesting to think about the way in which the kind of county and regional staff and structures work with each other, or you know, I mean, from a Middlesex perspective, they would have wanted to have those Sunrisers pros out here on the park, but who calls the shots nowadays?
Turner bowls, ball's eased away into the offside, no run. I'm assuming it's Sunrisers for regional level that makes the call the shots. Look, it's a big call, isn't it? It's a big decision that's got to be made between regional level now and county level. The regional level is a wonderful game to watch. They want more cricket. The county game wants more cricket as well. Turner's in, bowls, down the track comes Chatley and lifts it almost all the way. 1, 2, 3 bounces and over the rope. Out to deep mid-wicket. Smashing shot from Chatley, moves to 17, 32 without loss. I guess The one thing I would say is, we've seen Pindoria bowl that last over. From a 14-year-old perspective, that wasn't a bad over at all to Smith and Chatley. I think the talent's out there and it's certainly coming through. The counties are just going to have to push them through pretty quickly if they want more cricketers. Here is a scoop from Chatley now. Party tricks coming out from the Surrey opening pair. They're 36 without loss. Chatley's on to 21.
Oh, she loves that shot. I remember seeing her here in 2020 London Cup fixture, and it was Naomi Datani bowling. Very experienced bowler.
Oh, she did that to Datani?
She did that to Datani twice in the same over.
Mix up some good pace. Naomi Datani, left arm over. Should be in action on Saturday for the Sunrisers. Turner's in, bowls. This is hit back down the ground, 4 more. Chatley's moved to 25. Surrey a 40 without loss at the end of the 4th. I said they could have a 50 up inside the power play. They could have it up inside the 5th. Brilliant over for Smith and Chatley. Tough on that for Middlesex. But again, Pindoria, 14 years of age. What a a fine over it was from her to start up. Does she get another? I think she is going to take off her cap. Yes, she is. So back on for another. I mean, the key for Middlesex, they had to get an early wicket, otherwise Surrey were always going to gamble in the power play to go hard, as you always do in T20 cricket.
Yeah, absolutely. And can talk again about that. The chance to get Bryony Smith when she was on naught, but they didn't take it, and here we are. But I just think, it's great to see young players out here bowling at the Kia Oval, and when else do they get the chance to do that? But Pindoria comes in and bowls, and it's just played out by Smith to the offside, and there's no run. Sorry, I'm
That's all right, you keep going.
commentating as well here.
Lots of flights, balls dragged away into the onside, just rocked back on it. Smith wading on that ball, picks up the single at deep mid wicket.
It's fantastic, but I just think what we really want to see here at the Kia Oval is a great competition between 2 evenly matched sides, and we're not seeing that this evening, and that's disappointing. And when everyone is still crying out for more cricket, it's even more baffling not to play.
It's away with the full bunger there, pushed straight to cover. Yeah, go on, Raf.
It's even more baffling not to play your top, your professional cricketers in a match like this, at a ground like this, on what we want to be a really amazing occasion for these sides.
This is cut through, backward point by Chatley. They'll get a couple here. She moves to 27. Sorry, moved to 43 without loss. I can't remember whether we had the chat on air or off, but I guess part of it, not particularly controversially to say, but Sunrisers will be looking at that game, 10:30 start on Saturday morning, and thinking, look, if it's 30 odd degrees again on Thursday night, this ball's given a bit of flight. Cut away to cover, good one-handed stop, brilliant piece of fielding in the covers, and I think it was Suran Kumar in there who's managed to cut that one off. One-handed, saved a boundary. He's away into the offside, a dot ball, end of the 5th, 43 without loss. Oh wait, scoreboard's alright. It says end of the 5th. Umpire says end of the 5th too. 43 without loss. But that's not in any way overriding your point. I think it's valid, more than valid. I think personally, isn't it, for the women's game at the moment, that it's got to find a balance at the moment between the regions and the counties.
Yeah, and I think that the Middlesex and Sunrisers have got that one wrong here, to be honest. Or at least, at the very least, why didn't Middlesex and Surrey and that conversation probably, as you say, also needs to involve Sunrisers and the Stars management get together and say, look, well, we are playing Bryony Smith and Alice Capsey, so why don't you play a couple of your...
Well, I guess from Surrey's perspective, they'd probably be looking at it. It's a home fixture at Kia Oval. they're not going to play anything other than full strength.
Right, and this is a fixture that they obviously care very much about, and it's been one of the ironies of it over the years that Surrey have clearly been the ones who have been pushing. They've been the movers and shakers in this. They were the ones who hosted the first 2 London Cups. They were the ones who wanted this fixture to get off the ground, and yet they've only won it on one occasion out of I think it's been played 7 times now. So you know, that has been one of the ironies of it. So of course they're going to go all out and win. Really, Middlesex then should have expected that, I guess. I just find it a bit disappointing.
So onto the legs and swept away. Just gets through short fine leg. Hawley into the attack for the first time. They've come back for 2. 45 without loss. Was it Kopak at short fine leg? I think it was. Just managed to squeeze the ball fine off. This one short. Cut away hard. In between point and cover. Great shot from Smith. 49 without loss. Comfortably on for the 50 partnership inside the power play now. Flight once more, driven into the onside, just fine of mid-on. The throw comes in, they are home comfortably. There's the 50 partnership, 5.3 done. Surrey are 50 without loss. You only play what's in front of you. Surrey have done a very good job of that. Again, the big boundaries here as well. Middlesex would have desperately hoped they could have dried up the boundary count in these opening overs. They haven't been able to at all. That's a dot ball from Hawley. Through it goes to the gloves. 19 to win. A lot of flight. That one's hit away into the onside again. Fielded at mid-wicket. Just dragged a little by Chatley on that occasion. This one's tickled to Kopak. There'll be no run again. End of the 6th. Power play done. Surrey are 50 without loss. Oh, you off, Raf, for a minute. Thanks, Raf. Much appreciated. Raf Nicholson is going to make way for the denouement, which could be all over pretty quickly. Sid Egan sits back down alongside myself, Kevin Hand. Pretty much what Middlesex would have feared from Smith and Chatley.
Yeah, we've raced to 50, haven't we? And you know, the pros playing like pros, frankly. And this is exactly the kind of innings that you'd expect from both these players. They've been in great form this year in regional cricket, as Raf was mentioning, and you know, they're obviously really enjoying it out there. There's big smiles on their faces. Very much making up for some disappointment last weekend. Both of them were playing for Stars last weekend, and they were very disappointed. I spoke to Bryony after the match, and she was very, very down about the result against Vipers. The Stars were well beaten by a very good Vipers team, but you know, a much happier Bryony Smith out there in the middle right now.
Jipra to bowl the 7th, first out of the power play. Floats this one outside off, cut away hard, 4 more, it's 54 without loss. Smith's on to 22, 15 to win for Surrey.
And one other thing that they're doing so nicely here is that they're finding the gaps, and then they're not taking huge risks. That was a little bit uppish, a little bit in the air, but it was perfectly placed between the 2 fielders. And you know, Bryony just looked at that and was like, "There's no point in running. I'm staying right here." It was a boundary all the way.
This one's cut again, and into the offside, no run, 54 without loss. Yeah, I can understand Raf's frustration in terms of the imbalance of the fixture. A fixture that's been so hotly contested over the years and been such a mainstay of women's cricket. Reverse sweep comes out, big appeal for LBW, not out.
I think it's very much, it wants to be seen as a flagship fixture, as it would be for the men's county game. And I think that's partly where the disappointment comes from.
This one's cut as far as cover just fine of the field, and they'll pick up 2. They'll probably think about 3. In fact, it's the practice squares. It could well be 4, and it is. Surrey Kumar giving chase. Tried to flick it back in. does pick up, well, say pick up pace. It keeps its pace, doesn't it, across the practice squares here at the Kia Oval.
Oh, it's a beautiful round, isn't it? Quality outfield. That's your test class grounds. That's what they do.
This is hit in the air and put down at mid-off. Smith looking to do this in double quick time, going down the ground, 11 to win. Only went as far as mid-off. Chance put down. Cut again as far as cover, no run.
It won't change the outcome of the game, but also disappointing.
Yeah, 58 without loss. Nearly a wicket for Kajipra.
Wrap it over.
Yeah. 7 gone. 11 to win. And
mathematically impossible for anyone to score a 50 now.
Here's Hawley bowls. Turns that one back in. Chatley had to play it respectfully. This is hit in the air, just fine a mid-wicket for a single out to deep mid-wicket. Chatley's on to 27, 59 without loss. Yeah, all eyes on Saturday. Regional game once more. So this a pretty big game at Chelmsford. 10:30 start, live stream of that one. This one's hit to mid-off by Smith and fielded, no run, 59 without loss.
We'll be at Worcester for the Central Sparks, but we'll be keeping an eye on your game from Chelmsford.
Yeah, Western Storm in town for that one. There's a bit of flight. This one's off the tone of the bat to mid-off. Go on, shouted us, don't worry. Sparks are playing diamonds.
I'd like to thank my calendar manager for that information.
Good length ball, cut away, fine of Kopak, but they do get through for the single. 69 without loss. Oh, swept, paddled, and gone at short fine leg. Chatley trying to get it done in a flash, gone for 28, 60 for 1. Hawley has a wicket.
And I imagine she's done the world a favour because the world will get to the Alice Capsey bat, who would think.
Yeah, well, there was us wondering as she was taking the wickets, what she'd do with the bat. 60 for 1, Surrey, on their way to a comprehensive victory here.
Raf is challenging Alice Capsey to finish it with a 6. Had a tough start to the season, Alice Capsey. Found it hard to make runs in the T20 Charlotte Edwards Cup. It was a definite case of sort of second season syndrome. As you know, she's now the prize wicket. She's the one everyone wants to take, and she had a tough time, but made some runs in the first game of the RHF Trophy, the 50 over competition, and has been going well since.
Lots of flight from Thorpe. This ball's cut to cover, no run. 60 for 1. 9 to win. For Surrey. Bathed in the shadow of the JM Finn stand shadow now. This one, as this ball's pulled hard out to deep square, just a single. 61 for 1, 8 to win. Ball in the over from Thorpe. Lots of flying. That'll be wide. Outside off. 62 for 1. Capsey looking to drive hard. I guess that's the frustration Raf was talking about in terms of turning up. You wanted to see what Capsey, wanted to see full worth. Down the track comes Capsey. There's a little example. Heaves it away into the onside. Hasn't quite got all of it actually. Won't go all the way. They'll pick up 2. 64 for 1. 5 to win.
Perfectly safe shot though, into a big hole in the field.
Capsey fan club to my right.
Absolutely.
Big broad smiles. Thorpe to Capsey. Cut only as far as extra cover. No run. Only balls left of the over. 8.4 gone. 2 to go over the over. 5 to win. Can Capsey wrap it up here? Thorpe's in. Lots of flight. Capsey's down the track, and that one goes not quite all the way. 1 bounce and 4 over extra cover. Lovely shot. She's on to 6. 68 for 1. Just giving the crowd a little taste of what she's capable of.
Yeah, again a very safe shot into a huge gap. Just lofted over. Very effortless. What a player this girl's going to be. She already is, says Raf.
Bit of flight once more. This one's cut only as far as extra cover by Capsey. No run into the 9th. Oh, it's got through, and they'll run a single and win the game. Just a slight misfield. And Surrey win by 9 wickets with 11 overs to spare. And the London Cup heads south of the river this year for Surrey's 2nd victory in this fixture. And as comprehensive a win as I guess there's probably been in the, 8-year history of the London Cup now. 69 for 1 and a 9-wicket win. That's it.
Yeah, it was very much the professionals versus the amateurs, wasn't it? And the quality of those Surrey players has really shone through. But I think the Middlesex players shouldn't feel too hard on themselves. You know, they've come here, they've braved up against a side with far more experience and far more quality, frankly. You know, and they just have to take that as a learning experience home with them, and build for their future careers, because I'm sure we will be seeing a lot of these Middlesex players, in the future. It's just not their year this year. It is going to be the year of Alice Capsey and Bryony Smith.
I mean, it's obviously very difficult to weigh up and summarise what we've seen there, isn't it? But what I would say is there was a clear difference in class, but a clear difference in age as well, and bearing in mind just how inexperienced Middlesex were. I mean, they got to 68, but unless they got Smith and Chantley and indeed Capsey early, then this was always going to be something of a humbling in reply. They're never going to defend that against Surrey in this kind of batting lineup at the top unless they get those early wickets. But what we did see of the youngsters, that they did okay. They held their own at least. They just weren't able to set something challenging and equally not get those early breakthroughs that you need in a low defence as they had.
Yeah, and the ease with which the Surrey batters found the boundary compared to the, it was suddenly a much shorter rope for when Surrey were batting, wasn't it?
I mean, again, the pool of talent is ever growing. We understand coming through in English cricket, both men's and women's. But in particular, the growth rate of the women's game is huge. So the key is filling these fixtures, and Middlesex have obviously done it with a few youngsters this evening, but youngsters that have clear talent. The over that we saw a couple of overs back just didn't, bearing in mind you're bowling against Smith and Capsey. It's, it could have been humiliating, and it wasn't. It wasn't humiliating. It was tough. It was hard tonight, but that's what it was. I'm just thinking it was Pindoria, wasn't it, the 14-year-old, bowling to a pair like that, and again held her own. I think very positive signs for the game, at least.
Yeah, and positive signs that we've got these Surrey players out here doing so well as well. This is the impact that regional cricket is having. That when this fixture started off 7 years ago, you wouldn't have seen those players that are below the England level still. And bear in mind, Bryony Smith played a couple of matches for England, or one match for England. Alice Capsey hasn't played at all. Kira Chatley hasn't played at all. But these players are really showing the step up that's been made over the last couple of years since regional cricket has been introduced, and their skill levels and the extra training they're able to put in, the extra hours in the gym, are all really starting to tell for those players. And that gives me a lot of hope for the future of English cricket as well, because what we want to be doing is be able to compete with the Australians in 5 years' time for the in the World Cups that are coming up, when these players are in their mid to late 20s, and I think that there's a very exciting prospect there.
Yeah, I think so, absolutely. I think absolutely. It was lovely to see it here at the Oval as well, the third fixture here. Fourth, indeed, fixture at the Oval over the years in this one, and a win for Surrey. So back to the streams on Saturday, folks. 10:30 start in both fixtures, I believe. On Saturday, it is indeed, in the Rachel Hayhoe Flint. So yeah, head across to those streams on Saturday morning from Raf, myself, Kevin Hand as well. Thanks very much for your company. Any final thoughts before we depart from yourself? No,
on the spot.
No. It's a difficult one to summarise tonight. I was just thinking, was there anything else that perhaps we know the players head off over on the far side? You'll probably see on the stream at the moment. They're just heading off to see the fans that have come in for this one. A good few family members as well. I'm sure delighted to see.
Yeah, and a proud moment for the family members of those Middlesex players who've never played at a place like this before.
Yeah.
To see their daughters, coming to this wonderful ground and having the opportunity to play here. So that's fantastic for those mums and dads. Great moment.
Sid Egan, thanks very much. Appreciate your company. Thanks again, Raf.
Thank you.
Raf Nicholson as well. Thank you at home for tuning in for this one. Hope you enjoyed the coverage. A comprehensive victory for Surrey. They've made it double today, the men's and the women's, against two pretty big rivals as well. A victory at Scarborough against Yorkshire, and now a 9-wicket win against Middlesex at the Kia Oval. Not a bad day for Surrey. Thanks once again for your company. Hope you've enjoyed it. Don't forget those live streams on Saturday morning. Pick them up at 10:30 in all the usual places. All the social media channels will have all of the info that you'll need for them as well. It's a 9-wicket win for Surrey here at the Kia Oval. From us all up in the commentary positions from the team, a very good night.